All right, we've completed our tapered column. Next thing we want to look at is our beam. We're going to use just one style of beam, even though in the actual project there's two different beam depths. So I'm going to go ahead and select this, double click on it so we can go into an editing mode. And you can just get a general idea. I'll go to the left side view and I'll click into our extrusion. And you can see we've established a couple of dimensions like our beam width and our beam depth, and we have a curved radius to the front of it. So I'm going to just close this one out and open up a new one. So we'll go to File, and we'll go New, Family, and we'll go to a structural column, or excuse me, structural beam. We'll open that, and right away we'll save that. So we'll do a Save As into our project folder, and it'll be the custom beam. And there's a couple of, this is probably the center line or node or the reference plane of where you place a structural column. This is a setback to a reference plane that might be to anticipate a column coming through. Anyway, for the sake of our project, I'm going to go to left-hand side view, and you'll see they've already created an element. And we can go ahead and click into that, and we'll see that they've established some reference planes for everything. And really we want to just make a few modifications. So I'll stretch this down a little bit to get more the way we want it. That's locked to that reference plane, and I've drawn that reference plane right on the other one. Let's go ahead and create a parametric value for the beam width. So I've selected it. I'm going to give it beam width. And my concern here would be that it will resize symmetrically. So let's just change this to 12 inches and see what happens. And it doesn't. So what we want to do is I'm going to just undo that. And I'm going to establish another constraint parameter. I'll pull this up out of the way here. And we'll just lock that as equal. So now if we change our beam width, and I made it 12 feet, but you get the idea. Now it stays symmetrical about that. And let's get our beam depth parameter. So I'm going to give another dimension here. And let's check what happens when we change the size of this. And that stays locked to the top. So we're good there. I'm just going to undo that to get it back to its size. And I'm going to get rid of this line. Now I'm going to check that to see if this will actually if those two lines will behave parametrically. And they do. All right, so the last thing we want to do then is add that curve. And we want to lock those edges to it. And then let's see what happens when we change this value again. And we have parametric connections to everything. All right, so we can close out of this, and we can, let's look at this in a 3D view. And the only issue we have is whether when we place it, how it will fit up with the columns. So let's go ahead and just do a trial placement of this. So we're going to load this into the project, steel frame project. And we'll run our first beam across. And we want to really be at the top of steel. And we're going to run that from one side to the other. It's not visible in the floor plan that we're in right now. And so let's take a look at this in 3D. And there we have our element placed. So I'll end this part of the clip, and in the next we'll pick up on placing all of the columns, kind of reviewing how that all fits together to create our top grid system structure.